did you get into acting?
I was about 18. It was my first real job, and it was a very unusual job because I was working in the box office of the Old Vic Theatre. Then not only did I get to see an awful lot of plays, but I also met the actors, and I was able to sneak in to rehearsals in the theatre, quite illegally. And I became fascinated by the work of the theatre.
What in particular fascinated you?
But the thing that fascinated me, as I said, was when I was in rehearsals. It was the work of the theatre, the sort of work it was. So I stand at the back of the Old Vic Theatre when the actors were rehearsing. But mostly it consisted of people sitting rather glumly about saying, well, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to make this scene work. I don't understand my character. And the director would try to help them to understand the character or suggest a move here or a move there, or maybe they'd try walking in a different way or putting on a different hat. And bit by bit, it started to fall into place. And I thought, what a wonderful job. What a fantastically interesting job to wrestle with these kinds of problems, trying to understand the characters, trying to find out how best to express them and show them off. So I came to acting very much from that point of view.
The role that first made you famous as a young actor was playing Mozart in the original theatre production of Amadeus, which later went on to become a film. What was the most challenging thing about playing the part of Mozart?
What was a challenge was that Mozart was a person who'd actually lived and was indeed one of the greatest artistic geniuses of the whole of Western civilization. And I was a great lover and admirer of Mozart's music. So there was a tremendous challenge to bridge the character that Peter Schaffer had written. And Peter Schaffer knows all about Mozart as he could, so that Mozart was sort of a smutty, hysterical child, really, in a lot of the play. My job was to reconcile that with the fact that he wrote The Manager of Figaro. And that was tremendously hard.
Was Mozart one of your most satisfying roles?
No, I wouldn't say that was the most satisfying. It was the most exciting, because its fame, almost from the moment it was announced, was overwhelmingly greater than anything I had ever done, or to be honest, ever have done since. The fact that the play was very, very controversial when it opened proved to be very shocking for many people, only increased the excitement around it. And it was astonishing to look out into the auditorium every night and to see Paul Newman or Robert Redford or Ava Gardner or Margaret Thatcher sitting out there, because everybody had to see that play.
Over your career, you have acted in the theatre, and you have also acted in many films. Which do you prefer?
They're absolutely different media. They require different things from you as an actor. I love them both, but they're each of them completely different. And you bring completely different things to them. Obviously, the crucial difference with the theatre is that there's an audience there, and that's such an important aspect of it in every way. It's there important because you have to reach out to them, make sure that everybody can hear and see what you're doing. The beauty of the theatre is that every single performance is utterly different from every other one.
How do you motivate yourself to play the same character again night after night?
I think as you get older, you realise that you never get it right. I mean, I've probably about half a dozen times in my 40 years of acting have thought, well, that was a really good performance. But it can always be better. And so one goes to the theatre every day hoping that it'll be in some way better, there's always the possibility you might get it right. I mean, you never do, you never can.
So what for you is the main difference with film acting?
In movies or television film, which is what almost all television is nowadays, a lot of those responsibilities lie with the director and the editor. And having directed film myself, I know perfectly well that you can make a sad scene funny, you can make a slow scene fast in the editing suite. It's an astonishing power that a director and editor have. You can make a character seem stupid just by editing them in a certain way, or make them seem brilliant by editing them in a different way. So in that sense, the actor's rather powerless.
Anything else?
The other thing that's very hard about acting on film is that, hilariously, it's regarded as a sort of naturalistic medium, but in no sense is it that for the actor, because first of all, there are some little metal objects right in front of you, sort of staring at you as you're doing your love scene or whatever else it might be.
Do you enjoy watching other actors acting?
Well, I love watching other actors acting. I've been obsessed by acting since I was a child, and I'm a great connoisseur of it, and I think I'm quite a good judge of it. And so I adore watching other actors' work when it's good. When it's not, it's a great pain to me.
Who were the first great actors you saw?
As a young man and a boy, I was extraordinarily lucky to see that fabled generation of actors, of Gielgud, Richardson, Olivier, Edith Evans, Peggy Ashcroft, people now almost all completely forgotten. Even if they made movies, it's unlikely that people of a younger generation know who they are. But when they were alive and kicking and doing their extraordinary work on stage, it was something quite remarkable. I mean, it was the sort of thing that nobody attempts anymore.
Do any modern actors come close to that golden generation?
In movies, not always, but sometimes Daniel Day-Lewis does, I think, probably approach a role in the way that Lawton might have approached it.
Is there anything you don't like about acting?
I don't much like wearing makeup. I sweat a lot, it comes off, it's uncomfortable, it's sticky, you can't... And I do everything I can to avoid wearing makeup.
Do you still get stage fright?
I don't get stage fright, but I do get self-conscious, and I hate that, and I wish I didn't, particularly at events like First Nights, because I don't know how it's impossible to ignore the fact that there are at least 100 people sitting out there judging you. You know, I think almost all actors feel a tremendous longing for the first night to be over, but it has to happen. It's like a sort of operation. You know it's got to happen, it's going to hurt, but you will feel better afterwards.
What actors do you enjoy watching?
Well, my favorite actors are Meg Ryan, I like Jennifer Aniston, all that has to do with Friends, and I like Tom Hanks, Sandra Bullock.
Why do you like them?
Sandra Bullock, for example, I like her because she can make different roles and she kills it. She's really good at it.
Why do you like Sandra Bullock's performance in Miss Congeniality?
I like it because she first shows a side of her that is not too girly. She's like, I don't care, whatever. And then she showed that she could change her character into this girly woman. That was really good.
What actors do you particularly enjoy watching?
I don't really have a favourite actor, I don't think, but I always enjoy watching Robert De Niro.
Why do you like him?
I think he just has an intensity and a presence that makes you want to watch him, makes you want to think about why he's doing what he's doing. I think even if it's something quite silly, it's still always interesting to watch.
What performance of his do you particularly enjoy?
I think my favourite film and my favourite performance of all time is The Deer Hunter.
What actors do you particularly enjoy watching?
I particularly like watching Christian Bale as an actor and maybe an actress, Anne Hathaway.
Which of their performances did you particularly enjoy?
I enjoyed Christian Bale as Batman and also in the movie The Prestige.
Why do you like Anne Hathaway?
I like Anne Hathaway because she's very attractive, and I liked her in The Dark Knight Rises.
What actors do you particularly enjoy watching?
An actress that I do like is Meryl Streep. I think she's a very powerful actress. I think she does well in any role that's given to her. I really do admire her. She's very moving. Anything that she does, she moves me.
Are there any particular films in which you enjoyed her performance?
My favorite movie with Meryl Streep is Julie and Julia.
Why did you like her performance?
I think she did a really good job capturing Julia Child. She sounded like her. She was able to just become her. So I loved it.